Yo, what's up, guys? Giancarlo, Fancast Live Podcast. I'm going to go through a quick New York Mets rant right now after the Mets lose 7-6 to the Phillies today on Sunday, June the 25th. A game the Mets had in their back pocket, a 6-3 lead heading into the eighth inning, and the bullpen implodes and allows the 4 runs to come through for the Phillies to take the lead into the ninth, where the Mets really can't do anything at that point because they're just totally deflated after giving up the 4 runs and the lead in this game. The You can't blame the entire loss to the Mets bullpen because Brett Beatty had that errant throw to second base that McNeil couldn't handle. The runner was safe, bases unloaded, no outs. That's part of the problem because for the most part the Mets were playing very good defense today. That one play pretty much cost the Mets the game, but ultimately in the end it's the bullpen, the pitching arms that really need to get the job done, and they just did not get it done. First and foremost, Carlos Carrasco. To me, he is a 5-6 inning pitcher. There's no doubt about it in my mind. He is inconsistent. Yes, I understand that. I get that. But the fact of the matter is that he can handle 6 innings. He had only thrown 78 pitches through 4 innings when Buck Showalter decided to go to his bullpen beginning with the 5th inning. That, to me, was the beginning of the end of the New York Mets game right then and there. Carrasco could have came in at least one more inning. At least one more inning to pitch his 5 innings and then go to the bullpen for 4 instead of having to go to them for 5. Now, the fact of the matter is Robertson, Ottavino, and Raley pitched last night. With the exception of Ottavino, who threw more than 20 pitches. I think he threw 26 pitches last night. He probably wasn't available, but Robertson and Raley, what's the excuse there? What the fuck was Buck Showalter waiting for to bring in one of those guys? Robertson pitched 1 2/3 innings yesterday. I get that, but he only threw 13 pitches. 13. I even had to look it up because somebody on Twitter even responded to one of my tweets saying Robinson should be available because I had said he wasn't, and he only threw 13 pitches. And I stood corrected. And why was Robinson not available? Why was Robinson not even in the game? Buck Showalter just came on, and one of the reporters, I think it was Anthony DiComo, asked why Robertson wasn't available in the 8th inning to come in relief. And Buck Showalter's response was he was going to bring him in the 9th had the Mets gotten out of the 8th with the lead. See, that to me is unacceptable. On how many occasions in 2022 and even here this season in 2023 has Buck Showalter used Robertson in situations in either the 7th or 8th innings when either the heart of the batting order is coming up for the opposition or the Mets really need somebody to shut down the opposition quickly before it gets out of hand? And yet Robertson is in that bullpen, not even warming up, never even bothered to get him started to get him in this game. Brooks Raley, same situation. He pitched last night. I think he threw 11 pitches. Why the fuck was he not in this game in the 8th inning when the Mets really needed their big arms in the bullpen to come in and shut down the Phillies today? It just didn't happen. Carlos Carrasco coming out of the game after 4 innings is unacceptable to me. I don't care how inconsistent he had been. You need to get him out there for at least 5 and push him to 6 if you can, regardless of how many times he had been through the batting order. You have the weakest, the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball, and yet you keep fucking going to the bullpen early on in games. At some point, you have to start pushing your starters to go beyond 5, beyond 6, regardless of how good or how bad they're performing on that particular day. It's unacceptable that Buck Showalter continues to lose confidence in his starters in regard to Carrasco and Tyler McGill and whoever else is in there, Kodai Senga in certain situations when he's not pitching well, he's been taken out early in games. But to me, you got to start pushing the starters to go beyond 5. You cannot go to your bullpen so early in games knowing that you just don't have the arms to get you through 5 innings worth of bullpen. The Mets should have won this fucking game. The feeling in this game up until the 8th inning was that the Mets were playing great baseball in this series. And that just fucked everything up. Buck Showalter is pretty much writing his ticket out of fucking New York with that performance today in the dugout. This has been going on all season. I get that you don't have the bullpen arms. I get that you don't have Edwin Diaz. Everybody's been moved up to a spot in the bullpen. I get that. But the fact of the matter is all these middle relief guys you're bringing in are fucking garbage. Dom Leone, Harwig, Walker. This shit's got to stop. This shit's got to stop. You know what? I would rather take my chances with the likes of Joey Lucchesi, Tyler McGill, and David Peterson in the fucking bullpen right now, more so than the fucking arms you got there now. This is bullshit. This fucking team came in this year with the expectations of going to the World Series. You lose Jacob deGrom, you get Verlander. Yay! You lose Edwin Diaz, you're fucked. Everybody knew that once Edwin Diaz was lost for the season, that this season was going to be a lost season. We could all see that happening. There's no fucking way that this team is this good and performing this bad. It all starts at the top. Everybody wants to blame Billy Epler for the players that he's brought in this year. You know what, guys? Do me a fucking favor. Do your research. Go and look up some of the players that the Mets showed interest in the offseason. And you tell me if they're doing any better than the ones that are on the roster right now. Because I guarantee you 99.9% of those players that we were interested in signing in the offseason are having terrible seasons. Look it up yourself. But as far as the bullpen is concerned, this shit's unacceptable. There's got to be some better arms out there that the Mets can go and acquire. I know it's still early and we're not even close to the trade deadline, but you know what? You want to get back into the season and you want to turn things around? Well, you got to start with your bullpen. You got to go out there and start shopping around for bullpen arms. And I'm not just talking about one. I'm talking about multiple bullpen arms. The Mets are probably not gonna be willing to give up prospects for those arms. But you know what? If you can find a team that's willing to take cash for those players without taking back prospects because they want to take them off the books, then that's what you got to look for. The Mets' performance today was unacceptable. I am fucking disgusted with this loss. A series that the Mets should have won. This game was in the Mets' books. And yet Buck Showalter fucked it all up. Brett Beatty fucked it all up. The Mets bullpen fucked it all up. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of losing. This is not a losing team. This is not a 500 team. This is supposed to be a team with aspirations to go to the World Series. They're not acting like it. They look like a bunch of fucking bozos in that fucking dugout. Take your heads out of your ass and start playing some baseball. I'm done. Peace.